Hello, everyone. Very welcome to week 2 of the slowdown. So the practice today is going to be half an hour. I'm going to call it yang to yin, as we are going to start standing in a more of a active, a flowy kind of a section of the practice. And then for the last 10 minutes or so, we are going to come into a couple of yin yoga postures. So I'm not going to say anything more. Let's get started. If you come up at this top of your mat, and if you want to have a couple of thick books or blocks around, I've set mine up just at the top here. And I've also have a bolster here, and you can have a blanket or a pillow for the yin section around for a little later. But let's come to standing at the top of your mat. You can face the top of your mat. I'm going to face you here. And before you come to stillness, maybe even without looking at your feet, just move your toes a little bit. If you're on your toes, which I do recommend, or if you'd like to do this wearing socks, just notice how it feels to touch whatever is underneath you. Rock a little left to right. Keep your gaze fixed forward onto a point. And what you're doing here is just really sensing whatever is underneath your toes or underneath your feet. Your support, whatever is holding the body up, you're grounding to the earth or to your mat. Then come to stillness once you're ready and take a couple of moments just to allow the body to soften into its support. And you can keep your eyes open, just looking at a point in front of you. Or if you're feeling comfortable enough, allow your eyes to come to a close. And we're just going to take a couple of breaths here just to allow the body to arrive, just in the same way as we do at the beginning of the practice when we start lying down or seated. We're allowing the body, signaling to body and the brain that we are going to be slowing down. And a good way to do that is to start in stillness, in any shape or form. So take a couple of breaths here and just notice, again, in the same way we have started on the ground or seated, without the need to fix or adjust anything, just notice how you feel around your ankles, how you feel around your knees, your hips, your lower back. And we're just drawing attention to one part of our body at a time. Again, slowing down and start to become more aware of how our body feels and where it feels differently. Notice the front of your chest, both left and the right side. The back of the shoulders, the left shoulder and the right shoulder. You might imagine like your fingers are a little bit heavy, almost like they're pulling on the arms just to soften and go a little bit heavier, more towards the ground. Feeling the full shape of the left arm and the full shape of the right arm. Noticing the front of the throat, back of the neck, all the little muscles around your lips, nose, eyes, and forehead. And notice the space you have above the top of the head. And maybe all those muscles you might more sense than know of at the back of the head. Then again, widen your focus after having built this internal map to notice your full shape of your body again. And how that shape of your body is supported by the ground, the contact between the ground and the soles of your feet. Then to check in with our breath, allow the right palm to come onto your chest and the left onto your belly. And again, without exaggerating or controlling, just allow yourself to notice that gentle movement of your breath underneath your palms. Just take 3 more breaths here. Notice if you feel your breath more around the chest or more around the belly. Let's do 1 more breath and maybe allowing it to be a bit of a deeper one. Take a deep inhale and make a little sigh on your exhale. Soften your shoulders. Let's do this 1 more time. Take a deep inhale. Fill your body with breath and then exhale out softly. Soften the body. Then allow the hands come by your side. Gently open your eyes. Keep the focus fixed forward, but sense the soles of your feet. And this short little section, even a standalone, if you don't have many minutes in your day, just coming to a standing stillness and a standing check-in can be very useful. Just a reminder again that we're slowing down and we always have access to this stillness. Allow your body to get heavy in the soles of your feet, and then we'll gently start moving, fixing your gaze forward. On the inhale, just spreading the hands widely, reaching the fingers to the top. And then exhale, soften the hands down by your side. Keep your gaze fixed forward. Let's do this a couple of more times. Inhaling, reaching the fingers away from the body, stretching out from the chest, and then all the way up, stretching the sides of the body. And then exhale, soften the hands down, soften the top of the shoulders. On the next inhale, when you start lifting up the hands, press the soles of the feet down. So you're reaching the whole body up. Maybe you look towards the sky, and then exhale, soften the hands down by your side again, like you're moving through water. Let's extend this a little. Inhale, hands wide and reach all the way up. And then exhale, start folding forward with a straight spine, all the way down into your forward fold. Soften the head, keep your gaze between your legs. And if you have your blocks and you don't like reaching all the way down, your hands can always rest on the blocks here. Take a couple of breaths. Just allow your body to swing left to right. Soften through the lower back. Keep your hands heavy or they can soften towards the block. Stretching into the sides of the lower back. Allow the shoulders and the head to be heavy, melting tension away from the neck and the shoulders. Then come into the middle. Let's move our knees a little bit, checking in with the back of the hips, back of the thighs, back of the calves. Just bending and stretching the knees a couple of times. Hands can also stay on the block, just softening.
Noticing how bending the knees and straightening the legs affects the lower back. Keep softening through the belly. Then on the next exhale, hands soften, stillness in the legs. And on the next inhale, soften the knees and start rolling up, vertebrae by vertebrae. The head is the heaviest part of the body, so it's the last thing to come up. Bit by bit, we build the body up. Fix the gaze forward and you're back where you started, your mountain pose. Notice if anything feels different already in your body. Let's keep moving. Inhale, arms spread out wide, keep reaching the fingers up, lengthening through the sides of the body. Then let's drop the right hand down, lift up through your left side, and then tilt towards the right, lengthening the left side of the body, stretching the left side. Keep grounding through the left heel, reaching up through the left fingers. And you can stay here for 3 breaths, fixing your gaze forward. Or if you would like to move just a little bit, a little micro movement, just to see how the stretch changes through the sides of the body, you can do that. Or just stay still, keep reaching up, stretching towards the right. One more breath. Then inhale, right hand lifts up, left hand drops down. We stay the same way. Inhale, keep reaching up first, and then a little tilt towards the left, stretching the right side of the body here. And it's not a competition about how far you can go. It's what you feel. Again, allowing the sensation in the body to guide you. We're not thinking about shapes. We're thinking about making the practice work for our body. A little tilt up and down if you find it useful. Rounding through the right heel, reaching up through the right fingers. One more breath. Then inhale, left hand joins. Exhale, straight spine. We fold all the way down to the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, walk our hands up, shin, knees, or thighs until our spine is parallel roughly to the floor. Hands can rest here, or they can rest on your block and extend your hands. Tuck the core into your core, soften the shoulders away from the ears, and extend the crown forward. A little halfway lift here. Keep lengthening the back of the legs, but the knees can stay soft. And then allow the hands to come onto your thighs, bend the knees a little bit more. And let's do a couple of cat-cows here. So on the next exhale, press your hands into your thighs, look down onto your chest and allow your back to curve up. And then inhale, soften the belly, increase the curve in your lower back and look gently upward to the front. And then exhale, curve everything in, moving each vertebra at a time. Press the heel of your hands down, allowing the shoulder to tuck forward. Reach up the middle of the back. And then inhale, like the waves going forward. A couple of times, just moving the spine up and down. For those of you who know cat-cow, which we did last week, it's the same motion. We're just doing it standing this time. Feel free to make this your own, just bringing movement to the lower back, the chest. Then on the next inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. Gently building the body up from the ground, coming into your mountain pose. Fixing the gaze forward. Notice what you feel in the body. Notice how it might start to change a little bit or a lot. Let's keep moving. Moving slowly, gently, inhaling, stretching the hands wide, reaching up through the sides of the body. Then exhale, hips move back, bend the knees, like sit into a chair pose.
Hands can reach up or forward or come in towards your chest. Tuck your core into your lower back, hips moving back, knees stay to the front. Finding your glutes squeezing, your thighs tightening, reaching either forward or up for 2 more breaths. Real good activation and strengthening for your thighs. Maybe you lift your toes here a little bit and move them. Let's do 1 more breath. Then exhale, hands come down onto the floor or your block, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, spine comes up parallel to the earth. Exhale, forward. Planting the hands down on the next inhale, right leg floats back. Right toe on the mat. Let's lift ourselves up to standing into high lunge. Allow for a good gap between your legs width-wise, so your hips have space. Keep the back heel lifted, fixing your gaze forward. Allow your hands to be soft. And then exhale, bend the left knee. Keep the back heel lifted. Straight spine, tuck the core in. Inhale, let's lift up a bit. Press the toe down, squeeze the right glute. Let's go down again. Exhale, bend the left knee. Keep the shoulders soft. 1 more time. Inhale, press both legs down, straighten both legs. And then exhale, bend that left knee. Now let's stay here. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs in, soften the hands down, and then following the little finger, allow the hands to show forward and then all the way up by your ears. Hands and fingers reaching up, grounding through your legs. Bending the left knee, keep the back heel lifted. Squeeze the glutes. 2 more breaths here. Keep hugging that core into your lower back. Extend through the top of the spine. 1 more breath. Then soften the hands, straighten both legs, and allow the right heel to come into the middle of the mat, setting up a warrior 2. So if your legs were together, they would be in sort of a 90-degree situation. But the back toe can really, depending on your hip, can be in a lot of degree and ankles. Don't try to keep it 90 degree. Let's allow the shoulders to face back and front. I'm going to turn around so you see me this side, but you stay where you are. Lengthen the feet maybe a little bit further apart. Then inhale, press the legs down. Again, ground through the soles of the feet. And then soften on the exhale. Left knee bends. Feel the inner thighs. Let's do this 2 times. Inhale, lift, press down, straighten legs. Exhale, soften left knee. 1 more time. Inhale, straighten both legs. Look forward. And then exhale, soften the left knee. Stay down. Keep lengthening the left knee away. Press the back heel down. Straight spine, hug the core, and then allow hands to shoot out from your shoulders, looking over the front fingers. Keep reaching the fingers away from the body. 3 breaths here. Warrior 2. Soften through the top of the shoulder. You stay. I'm just changing over. Lengthen the fingers away from the midline of the body. Soften your jaw. 1 more breath. Then exhale. Allow both hands to come at the front of the mat, in front of the left foot. We're going to do a little bit of a balancing here called standing splits. Both hands are going to stay on the mat, or they can stay in a block as well. You're going to put all your weight onto the fingers, but mostly the front foot. On the next inhale, lift the back heel, point the right toe, the back toe, and then keep lifting up the right leg. Squeeze the right glute. Extend your chest forward down. Lengthen the front leg. Press the back, press the front heel down. Let's stay with 2 more breaths. Keep lifting up the back leg. Only a little bit of weight on the fingers. It's all your standing leg, strengthening
On the next exhale, bring that right leg in, soften both knees. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. On the next inhale, gently rolling up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Keep the chin to the chest. Coming up into your mountain pose, fixing the gaze forward. Soften. Notice your breath. Notice the heat in your body. Notice what moves just outside your skin and within your body. Let's do the other side. On the next inhale, arms reach out wide, lifting up through the sides of the body, and then exhale into your chair. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze the core to your lower back, hands extend to the front or up or in prayer to your chest. Sitting for 2 breaths. Keep extending the hips back, bending the knees. Keep the gap between your legs, but almost like you're squeezing a block between them to really activate the thighs. 1 more breath. Then exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands down on the next inhale, stepping the left leg back. Left toe meets the mat. Lift yourself up, setting up for high lunge again. Widen your stand, fixing your gaze forward. Same as before. Back heel lifted. Inhale, both legs press down. Exhale, soften the right knee. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, soften the right knee. Use the muscles on your legs here. Stay in control, moving slowly and gently. Inhale. Notice all the different changes while you're moving bit by bit. Soften the right knee. Soften the top of the shoulder. Keep the back heel lifted. Squeeze the glutes. Then tracing the little finger, pushing it forward, then up. 3 breaths. High lunge. Reaching up through the fingers, pressing the back heel back, but roll onto the back toe. Keep the front knee bent, hug the core in. 1 more breath. Then exhale, soften the hands down, flip the left heel into the midline of the mat. Maybe widen the stance or not. Notice what you feel around your hips and keep adjusting the legs. This is a strengthening on the front of the hips, back of the hips, and lengthening it in the thighs. Shoulders front and back. Inhale, press the legs down, straighten the legs. Then exhale, bend the front knee like you're drawing it to the front, lengthening the inner thighs. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, soften. Look towards the front. Keep the chest square. Inhale, notice what you feel underneath the soles of the feet. Exhale, when you bend the knee, keep pressing the back heel down and lengthen the back legs. Stopping here, hands come out from the shoulders, looking over the front fingers, lengthening through the chest, almost like you're grabbing 2 things at the same time. 2 more breaths here. Squeeze the glutes, almost like you're pressing the front knee a little bit to the right. And you can feel that the inner thighs grab a little bit more. 1 more breath. Then exhale, hands come down either onto a block or onto the floor in front of the front leg. We do our little balancing just for 4 breaths. Inhale, putting all the weight onto the right leg. Point the left toe, lift the left heel, and keep lifting. Keep extending the left leg and keep lifting the back of the left leg up. Bending the right knee or straighten the leg and just tilting the fingers down. 2 more breaths. Keep pressing the standing leg down. Lift up through the hovering leg. One more breath. Then exhale, soften both legs down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gently rolling up, vertebra by vertebrae. Keeping the shoulders soft, head heavy. Coming into your mountain pose, fixing the gaze forward. Soften the top of the shoulders. 3 breaths here. Notice how your body feels, what feels different. Notice your heartbeat, the heat, the fire in your body, the connection to the ground through the soles of your feet. Then let's transfer to the floor. Inhale, just gently, softly reaching up through the hands. Then exhale, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward. Step the left leg back, step the right leg back. Knees come down. We're going to set up for a little yin shape here. This is called the deer or pigeon. Allow your right knee to come to the behind the right wrist. Sneak your shin so it's diagonal towards your mat underneath the left hip. So you can see that your shin goes a little diagonal. Now, it might not be this diagonal, any sort of a diagonal that works for your hip. We're stretching the outer right hip here. Then either you can come down onto your right side and then you fold over either the shin or the front knee. And you might use a bolster or a block to really soften over the leg and keep your stretch. Or you might do a full pigeon with back leg is straight and then you soften over here. In yin yoga, you want to keep a stretch, which we call the edge, which is 5 or 6 or 7 out of a scale from 1 to 10. And we're going to stay for a couple of minutes here. You want to keep your stretch on the right outer hip for those 2 minutes, and it might increase or it might decrease, and then you just change your shape to keep it at the edge. The rest of your body can go soft and comfortable. If this for any reason doesn't work for your body, then setting up next to a wall can be handy. Allowing both legs to come up, left leg bends if you're working on the right hip, and you do figure of 4 at the side of the wall, which is actually a really lovely pose for the right hip. You stay in your shape. I'm going to watch the time and I'll let you know when we change over. So where you're in your shape, stretching and feeling the stretch on the right outer hip, can you soften everything else? And the props, a blanket, a pillow, a bolster, those are the things you can use for your body to make it safe and comfortable enough to soften and give its weight to the support. Sometimes the hardest thing we do in these non-active, non-doing shapes is allow gravity to do the work for us. Soften the head, soften the shoulders. You might find your breath. Notice a little inhale and exhale, that real rhythm that's in your body.
You might start to feel that it's like your body gets a little bit lighter on your inhale, like it's lifted up. But on the exhale, it's like it's gently tucked downwards, and you might just need to give in to that tuck a little bit. And if you find that your sensation on the outer right hip is either growing too strong or it has sort of disappeared, then just adjust your shape. Take away props. Find a way to stay at the 5, 6, or 7 out of 1 to 10. Stay for 10 more breaths. Notice if there's any tension in your lower back or chest. And if there is, can you change your shape so that tension softens? And all these little things are just signals from the body. And with these practices, when they're done slow and in stillness, this is where you can really start to learn how to listen to the body and interpret what it needs and what it's trying to tell you. When you're coming out of your shape, apologies for that. That was my clock. Come out of your shape. And just gently, if you're on your pigeon, just allow the legs to straighten, and you can come onto your back just for a little stillness before we do the other side. Straighten out the legs and stay there, just noticing the difference between left and right. If you're at the wall, just allow both legs to lengthen up. And you just notice the difference between left and right here. We've stretched into one side. Stay there for a couple of more moments. Notice all these more subtler sensations compared to the ones that we work with when we're actually activating something. And feel free to linger in this little check-in shape a little longer. But when you're ready, we just set up for the other side. So it's the left outer hip now, either coming into your pigeon by having the back leg straight, or coming onto the left hip where you fold over the left knee or left shin, or you do the other side at the wall. I'll keep the time. Find your shape, and again, you're allowing the stretch on the left outer hip to guide you. And our hips are notorious about feeling different, left to right side in one body. So you might need something very different here, maybe something a little bit higher. Finding a shape where you can stay at the edge and soften the rest of the body. Stay and soften the head. There's often a tendency, particularly if we're feeling quite a lot on our edge, on the left outer hip, to try to keep a lot of weight in the top of the head. You want to try to set yourself up so you can really relax your shoulders and the head. And it's the weight of the body that does the work for us. And fall into your breath. Notice that little lift on your inhale and that softening downwards on your exhale. Almost like you are riding a little wave up and down. And it's a particular on the way down, on the exhale, where you can really allow your breath to help you to drop into a sensation, soften into a tension. And because we hold for a little while, your sensations can well change, either increase or decrease. So do keep monitoring your edge, your 5, 6, or 7 out of 1 to 10, and adjust when needed. Let's stay for 10 more breaths. And just notice if there is any tension you can soften around the hips, the inner thighs, toes or ankles. Allow the body to go completely heavy on your last 2 exhales. Then, if you are at the wall, slowly allow both legs to lengthen up. If you're in your pigeon, just gently come out and you might find your way onto your back, taking a shape from wherever you are, just for the last couple of moments of the practice. Your savasanas, either at the wall or lying down or in any shape or form you would like to finish a practice. Starting with observing what is different left to right around the hips and the sides of the body. And then just staying in stillness and in silence, perhaps, for a couple of moments, just to allow the full practice to be absorbed and observed by your body and your mind. Stay here as long as you need. I'm gonna finish the recording, but I encourage you to stay at least for a couple of moments or even longer, as long as you might need it. I hope the practice today was useful to you. Have a lovely rest of your day or your evening, and I'll see you again next week.